Okay. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفر ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Alhamdulillah, today we are still in Tafseeru 101, and we started off by saying what we're going to do here. Tafseeru 101 is what we're going to do. We're going to break each surah down for every one of you, from whence it came, its length, its name, its placement, and just what it claimed, to learn Quran and pass it down for Muslims learning all around. And so today we're in Surat Al-Masad. Surat Al-Masad. So we say to learn its name in Arabic is Al-Masad, and now we have to do in English its length. I'm sorry? Okay. We need to know the name of the surah, right? Its length, its placement. What else is it? Its length, its name, its placement, and just what? Claim. No, it said claim, okay? So what else is there? There's four things. There's five more. It's one more thing. Whence it came. Where did it come from? Okay, is it Meccan or Medinan, right? So these are the five things that we're going to look for in this poem, Surat Al-Masad. Okay, Surat Al-Masad. Now, what first thing that we know is that this surah came from Mecca. It is a Meccan surah, okay? It's Mecci. We'll go over the poem. The poem goes, Al-Masad. It's called Tabbat Lahab Masad, dua or curse that's plainly said, destroyed the flame or type of rope with twisted chains for her to choke. 111th place. His curse was thrown back in his face. Then taunts were heard in Meccan streets, and 5 lines took away their peace. Here in this poem, we learn these 5 things that we're going to talk about now. The first thing we learn is that I want to point to is that it came from Mecca, that this surah was a Meccan surah. It comes over, it says, then taunts were heard in Meccan streets. Meccan streets there points to the fact that this is a Meccan surah. We know something about Meccan surahs, so since we're dealing with a Meccan surah, I want us to turn to the chapter in our books or from our memory banks where we recite what we expect to see in a Meccan surah. First, go to the chapter. It says how to recognize a Meccan surah. And what does it go? 82 before migration, Meccan surahs. Inviting to Tawheedullah and not to worship. That's prophets, saints, all types of shirk. An invitation to about the as if we knew then we'd behave. Surahs that made men and their minds could not. Warnings and then punishment while telling us to be patient about the final day for all. An open challenge to kuffar when curses and or oaths begin, or letters that hold nations past and creation and prostration. I'm sorry. Prophets gone and our creation. Kella and it's with a strong negation. These all came before. So here we're going to look in this one. It says, first it says, 82 before migration, Meccan surah sparked the nation. So this surah here is one of those that invited to, that sparked the whole nation. Why? Because there's some surrounding information behind this surah, right? Read on. Let me see your book for a second so I can, let me get this one right here. It says, inviting to Tawheedullah and not to worship awliya. This surah, Surah Al-Masad, does not invite to Tawheedullah, right? And it's not talking about not worshiping awliya. It's not talking about prophets or saints and all types of shirk. And it's not inspiring people to do good work, right? It's not about the rising from the grave. And it's not about, but this is a surah that made men reflect. And their minds could not reject. Okay? This is what comes. And then it says when curses and or oaths begin. In this surah, there's a curse. This surah begins with what? A curse. And then it talks, that's what we're going to look at and see in this surah. So, again, it's called Tabbat Lahab Masad, dua or curse, as plainly said. So we go to the name. It has 3 names. 3 names this surah is known by. It's known by Surah Tabbat, it's known by Surah Al-Lahab, and it's known by Surah Al-Masad. Here it points to the meaning. Tabbat means destroyed. Lahab is the flame. And Masad is a type of rope. What type of rope? A type of rope with twisted chains for the lady to choke upon. And here we know Al-Masad, we'll get to what that basically literally means. So that's what the name of the surah is, either Tabbat or Surah Al-Lahab or Surah Al-Masad. Any one of those, it's well known by that. And what is it, the length of this surah? How many ayat are in this surah? 5 lines took away their peace here. 5 lines of these 5 ayat that we're going to talk about. Then he says the placement. When is it placed? Where is it placed in the Quran? 111th place. So it's the 111th surah. It comes right before Surah Al-Ikhlas. Okay? So then here it is. Then what does it claim? It's claimed to be a dua or a curse that's just plainly stated what the situation is. Okay? It talks about the twisted chains that the lady's going to choke on. It talks about the curse, the man's curse was thrown back in his face. And it's a taunt that was heard in the Meccan streets, and we're going to deal with that as we go through. Scroll down. Even though this is a very short surah, how many ayat does it have? 5 ayat, okay? 5 ayat. What's its placement? 111. And what does it claim to be? It's a curse, right? And it's also a promise. You know, a curse is a dua. A curse is a type of dua. We say rahimahullah or we say la'natullah alayh. Those are both dua. One is may Allah have mercy on that person, may Allah curse that person. And to curse a person means that they would be far away from Allah. Something close to Allah is under His mercy, wa rahmatihi. Okay? So, here we have the things that we need about this. Definition of the title. This surah is known by 3 names. Al-Masad, Al-Lahab, and Tabbat. The title Al-Masad is a twisted rope made from a dried palm fiber plant. Okay, everybody remember, and astaghfirullah, I left it in my car. I got one. I have one of these ropes in my car. Yeah, and I forgot, astaghfirullah al-azim, to bring it out right here. And no one made me forget except the shaitan, because I wanted to show you the type of rope that it is. It's a rope that's well known. It has the fibers sticking out of it. You know, lots of times we don't realize certain things are plants. Like we're wearing plants right now. All the clothes that we're wearing, most of them, if it's not polyester, you know, but most of the cotton that we're wearing, all of that is made from a plant. So it's not uncommon to know that a rope is made from the twisted rope that people use in the Navy, and that makes it strong, very, very strong. If you drive down the FDR Drive, you see the tugboat pulling all the trash or other huge ships with this rope. That's real thin, but it's tied together with another 100 other ropes, and it's pulling this big thing. But this type of rope, it burns. One time we were doing a tug of war many years ago, and we used this type of rope, and the lady's hand, she got like a certain degree burn on her hand when it burnt through her hand. That's how tough that rope is. So it's called Al-Masad. However, this surah is also known as Lahab, which means a bright sparking flame that is usually seen when you start to light something. Okay, everybody ever light an incense? When you light it, then the incense sparks up. Or if you make a fire and it starts to catch and the fire bounces up, that flame is called Lahab. Another example of Lahab is if you've ever made rotisserie chicken. You know how you take the chicken and you put it on a stick, and I'm not a great drawer, but you have the chicken here, and then you have the flame, and you're twisting this thing. Has a turn handle, and it's turning. This is Lahab, this fire that beats on this chicken and burns the skin and everything like that, and it drips, you know, they do it like that for you to eat. That is what it means to have a Lahab, okay? Now, that's what the literal meaning of Lahab, that type of flame. Okay, you got me? So then we go on to say, which means a bright sparking flame that's usually seen when you start to light something. Tabbat. Tabbat, or another name which this surah is famous, is a curse, to have something totally destroyed. We have a lot of curses in English. You know, a lot of curses. You know, you can just imagine when you say to somebody, may they be destroyed. You know, Tabbat yadah. You know, so may his hands be destroyed, may that person be destroyed. And you can use your imagination and think of some of the colorful words or adjectives that people use in English when they intend that on somebody else. Okay?